Welcome to the best site for learning German. We upload videos every day. Let's go.
All right, let's jump right in. We are going to crack the code on one of the most fundamental parts of learning German, how to actually build a simple sentence. We're going to get straight to the point, focusing on the subject and the verb, because once you get this, honestly, everything else starts to fall into place.
Look, if you've ever thought something like this, I get it. You are definitely not alone. It's a popular feeling for a reason, right? Sometimes German grammar can feel like this big, scary fortress that's just impossible to get into.
I mean, you've got verbs that seem to just take off and run to the end of the sentence. You have 3 different genders for nouns that don't always make sense. Like, why is the girl, das Mädchen, neutral? And then you've got the cases, which can change the meaning of everything. It just feels like total, absolute chaos.
But what if I told you there's a secret key? One single core principle that actually brings a whole lot of order to all that chaos and makes German grammar finally, well, click.
So this is it. Let's talk about the one rule you really need to know. This is the bedrock, the foundation for pretty much every German sentence you're ever going to build.
And it all comes down to this number, 2. Seriously, if you can, just forget everything else you've heard about German grammar for a minute and burn the number 2 into your brain. It is your anchor. It's your North Star.
And here is that golden rule. In a normal sentence, the main action word, the verb, is always, and I mean always, locked into the second position. Now here's the important part. That doesn't mean it's always the second word. It's the second idea or the second piece of information in the sentence.
And this slide shows it perfectly. Look on the left. Ich is the first element, so lerne, the verb, comes second. Makes sense. But now look at the right. We decided to put morgen, tomorrow, in the first position. So does the verb move? Nope, not a chance. It stays right there in position 2, and the subject, ich, has to jump over to the other side. You see? The verb is the anchor. Everything else moves around it.
Okay, so we've got the verb locked in position 2. Great, but that verb has another really important job. It has to change its form to match whoever is actually doing the action. We call this verb conjugation.
And these are our main suspects, right? The doers of the action. These are the personal pronouns, from ich, which is I, all the way down to sie, for they. Whichever one of these you pick is going to decide the ending of your verb.
And that's all conjugation is. Don't let the fancy words scare you. It's really just about changing the verb's ending so it matches the subject. Think of it like putting the right size shirt on someone. It's a totally predictable system, not just random guessing.
And this chart breaks it down beautifully for regular verbs. Let's take spielen, to play. You find the main part, or the stem, which is spiel. You just chop off that en at the end. Then you just stick on the right ending for each person. See that pattern? E, st, t, en, t, en. Once you know this pattern, you can correctly form literally thousands of German verbs.
All right, theory time is over. We have our 2 big ideas, verb in position 2, and the verb's ending has to match the subject. So now let's actually put these pieces together and build some real sentences.
Here's your foolproof 3-step formula. First, pick a verb, like lernen, to learn. Chop off the en to get its stem, lern. Step 2, pick your subject. We'll go with ich and grab its ending, which is And finally, step 3, assemble it. Subject first, verb second. You get ich lerne.
And boom, there it is, your first perfect German sentence. Ich lerne Deutsch. Subject, ich. Verb in position 2 with the right ending, lerne. And then the object Deutsch just follows. See? It follows the rules perfectly.
Let's do another one. He drinks water. Our subject is so the verb trinken needs that T ending. It becomes trinkt. Subject, verb, object. Trinkt Wasser. The system just works.
Okay, one more just to really lock it in. We play soccer. The subject this time is wir, so the verb gets the en ending. And here's a cool little tip. For wir and sie, the verb form is almost always the same as its original dictionary form, spielen. Pretty handy, right?
So, let's boil all this down. If you're going to walk away from this explainer remembering only 2 things, please make it these 2 points. They are absolutely crucial. First, the verb is the anchor of the sentence. It lives in position 2, and it does not move for anyone.
Everything else has to work around it. And second, that verb has to wear the right ending for its subject. It has to agree with the doer. If you can master these two rules, you have truly mastered the foundation of building sentences in German.
So the next time German feels overwhelming, just come back to these two ideas. Because what seems like a bunch of confusing rules at first is really just a logical system. And once you understand that system, grammar stops being this thing you struggle with, and it actually starts to become your superpower.
Here are some tips that will help you improve your German fluency incredibly. And remember, new videos every day.
All right, let's talk about getting fluent in German. It can feel like this huge, impossible mountain to climb, right? But trust me, with the right roadmap, you can absolutely get to the top.
So first things first, we've got to talk about German's reputation. You know the one. That it's this super difficult, complicated language full of ridiculously long words and crazy grammar. It's enough to scare anyone off before they even start.
But honestly, that's mostly a myth. German is actually a surprisingly logical language. And here's the best part. It's a Germanic language, just like English. They're basically cousins. You're gonna find thousands of words that are super similar, like house for house, Freund for friend, and book for book. You're not starting from zero. You've already got a massive head start.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're gonna start by looking at why German seems hard, then we'll lay down a solid foundation, build up those core skills, get you into what I call the immersion engine, talk about turning practice into fluency, and finally look at how to play the long game. First up, let's understand the challenge. By facing what makes German tricky right from the start, we can prepare for these hurdles instead of letting them trip us up down the road. The main hurdles are usually the noun genders. Remembering if a word is masculine, feminine, or neutral. Then you've got those famously long compound words, and of course a few unique sounds we just don't have in English. It might seem like a lot, but believe me, there's a system to all of it. Okay, now let's get to laying the foundation. Getting these first steps right is absolutely key to your long-term success.
Your first steps need to be clear and doable. Start with what they call SMART goals. That just means they're specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So instead of a vague goal like, I want to learn German, you'd aim for something like, I'm going to pass the A1 exam in 6 months. See the difference? From there, just focus on mastering the alphabet, getting the basic pronunciation down, and learning those essential phrases you'll need every day.
Now, here's a huge tip. Mastering just a few unique sounds can totally transform your accent. We're talking about the umlauts, e, ö, and ü, and that funny-looking ps symbol, the azet. Getting these right early on is a real game changer. It'll make you sound so much more natural and save you a whole lot of frustration. With that solid foundation in place, now we can start building the structure of the language. This section is all about the nuts and bolts, grammar and vocabulary.
Let's tackle German's most famous feature, grammatical gender. Yep, every single noun has a gender, and you can tell what it is by its article. Der for masculine, die for feminine, and das for neutral. This is a core rule you just have to embrace from day one.
And this slide shows the absolute best way to learn vocabulary. Don't just learn Stuhl means chair, you have to learn der Stuhl. Always learn the noun and its article together, like they're a single unit. It will save you so many headaches later on, I promise. Here is a fantastic shortcut to speaking faster, learning these 7 modal verbs. Things like können for can and wollen for want. Why is this such a game changer? Because when you use one, it pushes the other verb to the very end of the sentence in its simple infinitive form. This totally simplifies your sentence structure and lets you express complex ideas without having to memorize tons of different conjugations. Okay, let's shift gears now from just studying German to actually living it. This is all about making the language a natural part of your world. So how do you actually do it? Well, change your phone's language to German, listen to German podcasts on your commute, read simple books that are designed for learners like Café in Berlin, or watch some incredible German films like Das Leben der Anderen. Just immerse yourself in the language. So the most important thing here is to learn like a child does. Just think about it. They listen, they play, and they are not afraid to make mistakes. The goal is to get your message across, so focus on communication, not on perfection. Now it's time to activate everything you've learned. This is about turning that passive knowledge you have stored in your brain into the active, real-world skill of speaking. Every expert starts out as a beginner.
Language blogger Dr. Popkins shared that just 6 weeks into his studies, a German friend bluntly told him his German was, well, terrible. It's a really relatable reminder that the beginning is often pretty rough, but it's a totally necessary part of the process.
A lot of learners, Dr. Popkins included, hit something called the upper intermediate plateau. It's that super frustrating stage where you know all the basic grammar and vocabulary, but you just feel stuck. Your progress seems to slow to a crawl. And that's because the next steps involve more nuanced language and less common structures. The only way to break through it is consistent, deliberate speaking practice.
Looking for a more concrete goal? While fluency is really complex, a common benchmark people use is knowing around 10,000 words. This gives you a tangible, long-term target for building up your vocabulary.
And for our final section, let's set some realistic expectations. Achieving fluency is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. It requires patience and a whole lot of consistency.
So, what does that marathon look like? With consistent effort, you can probably handle daily conversations and small talk in about 6 months. But reaching a professional working level of fluency, that's more likely to take 2 to 3 years.
And remember, fluency isn't some permanent state that you achieve and then you're done. It needs maintenance. It's a classic use it or lose it situation. But the good news is, once you've reached a high level, those skills can be reactivated really quickly, even after a long break.
So you have the roadmap. You know the challenges, you know the foundations, and you know the long-term strategies. The only question left is, where will your German journey take you?
Subscribe and let's reach our goals together. Remember, nothing comes without effort. See you tomorrow.